Hello, and welcome to the Try Not to Stare at My Giant Pimple podcast. I'm your host, Kia, and this is going to be a challenge. Boom. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, once again, back with another edition of Let's Analyze Someone Who's Putting Their Personal Information out on the internet, and it's cringe AF. Yes, I am talking about the latest weirdo. He's been actually a weirdo for a while in terms of his career, but has now started a new venture to reclaim his legacy that I'm not convinced was ever there in the first place. We're going to talk about it. Okay, we talked about this guy once many moons ago on my other channel called Cringefluencers that I was doing a few years ago during COVID with Camellia. Shout out Camellia if you're there. And it's been on hiatus for like several years. Maybe we'll get back to it sometime. Anyways, we talked about it when this cheating scandal happened. So if you're familiar with millennial culture, which if you're watching this channel, you probably are to some degree, the Try Guys started. It's like a content, gimmick, I guess, content creators in the early 2010 era. And they were on BuzzFeed. And at that time, BuzzFeed was like trying out a bunch of stuff. They had a guy that drank wine and talked about TV shows. They had the people who would like eat candy and test out different things. It was kind of like an incubator type thing at the time, if you weren't around. Oh, thank you. Some guy, 000001. Thank you so much. Some guy says, I have a parasocial crush on my YouTuber, so I created a 25-part TikTok on their predation. I'm still scarred from last week. Help me. I think we're all scarred from last week, except for the woman that was, what's her face? I forget her name. I block it out as immediately as I turn off the live stream. Kendra. It's a bad time to be named Kendra. And yeah, that was a fun one. That was a fun one, but a long one. So if you haven't watched that, clicky click. Time to go back after this one. Thank you, some guy. And for that, I say this.
That's a very dynamic question.
I want to go to Denny's with you.
Deep belly laughs.
Get your hearts ready.
There you go. That's all for you. So what was I saying? So the Try Guys was a BuzzFeed, oh, no. Okay, wait. Okay, it worked. Yay! Applause, everyone. They were a BuzzFeed thing. They started in like the 2010s, and then they decided to leave BuzzFeed, and a lot of people decided to leave BuzzFeed because I guess they were giving them bad deals, or they felt like they should be getting more money from these adventures. So they left, and then they debuted the Try Guys on their own YouTube channel. Okay, so they were doing their thing for a while. As far as I know, they were very clean, very popular, very mainstream, getting a lot of, deals and whatnot. So they were like very advertiser friendly until they had a big scandal. Okay, and that's with this guy we're going to be talking about today. That's Ned. Okay, so ironically enough, and here's their intro. So they still have almost 8 million subs. Oh, God. Watching it now is so cringe. So the pink guy is Ned. And apparently, I didn't watch Try Guys very much, so I can't really say I was a fan or know a lot about the lore. But as far as I know, Ned, the pink man right here, was kind of known as the guy who talked about his wife a lot. Who was always like, my wife, my kids, I'm such a dad, and I do this, and I'm so quirky and fun. And he really pushed the idea of he's a great father, great dad, great man, whatnot. He waves a little weird, but we could look past that if he was a good person. And then, interesting. And then he got caught on camera. Hey, you ever heard of that thing that records you? He wasn't really trying very hard, so it seems not to get caught because he was out in public with an employee at his company, which is a red flag. HR violation, and apparently had a relationship. And this person who worked with him at his company that he was cheating on his wife with was also married, apparently, or at least engaged to be married. So there was a lot of messiness going on. So let's see the photos that broke the internet, as they say. But here, like, he has, I don't know, 2 kids, 3 kids, something like that. And he's out at a club kissing other women, thinking that people don't watch YouTube or something. I don't know. And I do feel bad for the woman who is this person. Ariel, no, that's his wife. Who is the person that he cheated with? Alexandria Herring. So she's gone private on social media since the scandal. She no longer works for the Try Guys, as far as I understand. I don't know how you could. And Ned no longer works at the Try Guys. So since this all went down in 2022, these images got out there. Where does it go? Here. People were speculating like, okay, so is the marriage over? His wife, and him seemingly were still together after this scandal broke out. But there was no overt confirmation from anyone that I could see. Until, dun dun dun, all of a sudden we got this big update. And that is coming right now. Where's his Instagram? I had his Instagram pulled up at some point. Here it is. Here is his Instagram. So he had him posted, and he went dark. I think his wife went dark as well on social media. These were his last posts. And I was looking at this. This is from 2022, right before he got caught. He seems like an attention seeker. That's the vibe I get, is that he's an attention seeker, and he hides it behind, self-deprecating humor. But he really just wants to be in the spotlight, and he doesn't understand how to communicate that in a healthy, more effective way. I think he's one of those people who's like, he knows what he's supposed to do as a person and as a husband and a wife, a father and a man, or a person generally, but is conflicted at every turn because his internal feelings are to be an attention seeker, to have extramarital affairs, to make a lot of money. I think he was fighting those forces, but he's someone who's probably been raised well. I don't know. That's just a projection, a guess that I have just based on even looking at his Instagram, because it's like, I get it. It's supposed to be funny, I guess, but it's almost so weird that it's like, I need attention now. I need attention yesterday. I don't know. I guess it's just being funny, but anyways, that's kind of, there's his, these are all, he didn't delete any photos, to be fair, so I can see. They got hearts with the wife, and he left it. So to me, isn't that kind of a red flag too? Like, you get canceled completely, and yet you keep up everything as if your life is perfect. Even though everyone knows that you're a liar and you were cheating on your wife. But I don't know. This is all just speculation. Anyways, so this is the last post. This is from September 20th, 2022. Okay, and then we didn't hear from him again. But he didn't take down his comments. He kept his comments open. So he's ahead of Rachel Hollis in my book in terms of, open to criticism.
The mango frequency.
He must be on the mango frequency. And then all of a sudden this came out one day ago. So this is his podcast. I have a lot to say about this album cover. Rock bottom. Okay. As if you didn't put yourself there. This to me reads like, I was at rock bottom, when someone's going through addiction or someone's got, something really horrible has happened to them, rock bottom. And then they're talking about they're overcoming that. Now, of course, being canceled for a good reason is also rock bottom, but I find no hero arc possible. Like, what arc could you possibly create narratively? Again, he was not that popular on his own before, when people liked him and he was a nice try hard guy. And now they're going to hate him. How much can you talk about yourself, self-hatred? How many episodes can we possibly discuss where he's going to be like, yeah, when I was canceled, that was crazy. Or like, I'm a jerk. Can you hear that? Sorry. And this is also self-deprecating attention seeking, in my opinion. Like, putting the devil horns on himself and the X's and the teeth. It's like, I just think, I don't know. It's look at me, look at me, look at me. And that's a type that I find extremely polarizing for me. Whatever that type of person is that like just is seeking attention at any cost, it's intriguing to talk about in a critical way, but it's not someone I find to be typically a good person or someone that does not have only their interest in mind at any given moment. Asari Shepherd, thank you and welcome. Asari Shepherd. Asari says, Lord, not him again. Yeah. Well, we're back, baby.
I'm a big time hippie, and
I was brought to this planet from a parallel planet.
That's what Ned Fulmer thinks. He was brought here from a parallel planet where he's the best guy ever.
Demon.
Hey, that is what he's inferring here, right?
Demon. I've just healed so much.
He's healed so much. He's over it. He took 3 years off, went on vacations and stuff, chilled, rebuilt this and built this graphic. And now he's ready to share his story. And are we going to accept it as a society? Are we?
No.
But maybe?
Yes.
We'll have to see. I haven't heard it yet. So we'll have to decide together as a group, as a collective, as a cult, if you will. What will our cult decide? Should we accept Ned Fulmer as our leader or at least a member of the cult of Kia's world?
It looks like I'm just sitting. In reality, I'm managing lots of things. I'm feeling lots of things.
No, we're not a cult.
That's what you tell people if they ask, but we really are. Okay. Anyways, so the first episode, he is bold as hell. I will give him that. He's a bold guy. Is interviewing his wife in which he cheated on her. Okay. And he's now monetizing the heartbreak, the content. And this is a pattern that we've seen. I think it was Rachel, was that you? Who said in the comments earlier, what is going on with these women who are just embarrassing themselves? And it's not her fault. Obviously, none of this is her fault, but it's still embarrassing to go on a podcast with your husband. We talked about it a few months ago where the preacher and the husband and the wife were talking about, she would iron the clothes for her husband to go see his girlfriend. And things like that. And that was one. It was like so embarrassing. And she was like, just, I knew he would love me one day. It's like, okay, get a grip. And then the Aubrey Marcus stuff, he's got his throuple, his polycule coming out, his ex-girlfriend's coming out to defend him because he wants to have an open relationship as if that's some sort of unique concept. And they have to stand there and sit there and take it and, act like it's great. And now she's doing this. It seems to be a humiliation ritual that they're all going through. What is going on? Ladies, let's get it together. We got other things. Start your own podcast. Talk about knitting. Do something else. And I know that's like, sexist. But I'm saying do something else. Like, we don't need to do this. You don't have to participate in these conversations. Anyways, so we're going to get to the point now. We're going to watch the episode. And I've only watched the first 10 seconds of this. This is only an hour. So we're going to breeze right through this and have a fun stream, hopefully. Not too triggering for everybody. But look at his face. Okay, so this is akin to a YouTuber apology video where they have their strip down. They're just raw and real. They're in the white room in the white shirt because it represents being an angel and that their innocence is restored now because they're doing this apology video. And I feel like his face looks like when he starts up this intro, like he's pained or constipated or both, and it's like so weird because I'm like, it feels false, fake, because you had to set the camera up, put your microphone on, get ready, make sure the background looks good, press your shirt down, and then go, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry I did that. Meh. I interview her now, we're gonna talk about it, and hopefully at the end you won't think of me as such a bad guy, because I need money now. Me money. Okay. This was posted 8 hours ago. Also, it has 100,000 views. I would have thought it would have more. I guess the Try Guys are the bye-bye guys and no one gives a shit anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's what's happening. Anyways, let's get to it. I do love the aesthetic. I do love a tan, white, green aesthetic with a little bit of greenery. So whoever did the interior design, thumbs up from me. Okay. It even matches his eyes. He's like really blending into the atmosphere. So good. It's so natural looking. Okay. Anyways, let's hear what you got to say, Ned. What a name, Ned. What's your name? Hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? Ned. Ooh. See ya. Okay, let's start.
Hi, I'm Ned Fulmer. 3 years ago,
Isn't that the worst intro? Hi. Let me start. Hi. I'm Kia. 4 years ago. It's like, are you okay? Is your face broken? What's going on? Okay, I just had to hear that again. One more time.
Hi, I'm Ned Fulmer.
Ned Fulmer.
3 years ago, I cheated on my wife with my producer.
He also sounds like he's got some sort of throat issue. I don't think that he does. I think he's just making it seem like he does because he wants you to think that he's crying all the time from this or something.
It became a massive public scandal that caused a lot of pain to a lot of people. I know that I represented myself as a kind of wife guy who talked about his relationship and put that out there for public consumption.
But
And you, as a viewer, I know that I broke your trust.
get another job. Get into real estate. Don't do this is my lesson for everybody. Do not do this to yourself. The addiction of attention is so perverse and ruinous of people's minds that they will put themselves through the pits of hell for our entertainment and consumption. Seek help immediately. There's other jobs.
I betrayed my spouse, co-workers, friends, family, and I betrayed you.
Most importantly.
And I know it's not just about cheating, that I was a company owner and having a relationship with a producer, was engaged and friends with all of our friends and co-workers.
Do you think he enjoys this deep down, actually? I feel like there is no other way to go through with something like this unless you secretly deep down enjoy the misery, like a masochism type thing. Because I'm getting fake anger and sadness and picking up on pure joy, actually, from him. Does anyone else feel that way? Let me know.
It was understandably a messy and devastating situation for everyone involved.
Except for me. It actually worked out okay.
And I was the cause of it.
Yeah.
I did that. And I can't change it. I can't change the past. I can own it and accept it and try to change how I show up differently.
I think the only solution in these cases, the only solution is to disappear off the internet. Because the real world, I think, will not be as critical on a daily basis. Once in a while, you might get someone you encounter in real life that you have to deal with. But getting on the internet makes no sense. You cannot come back from this. I'm sorry. You can't. Unless you're so talented. Like Michael Jackson level of talent, I think people want to look past everything that he did because his music is so good. When you're kind of a mediocre entertainer, just do it for a hobby or something and get off. This is not going to go well for him.
The future. So
Swallow dramatically.
I wanted to say that I'm sorry.
It's painful.
I hurt you.
So hurt.
And I hope to make amends.
Ow, Ned. Ow, you hurt me. Stop pinching me, Ned. Stop it. Stop, Ned. Oh my God, you're so crazy. What about your wife?
Over time. And one step is to
Does he have no wedding ring, but he does have some sort of thumb ring. What does a thumb ring represent? Is that an aura ring thing, or is this some sort of proclamation of anything, or is it just like a band-aid on his finger? I'm curious.
Publicly witness the pain of my partner, Ariel. This is a conversation with Ariel in this video. It's painful at times. It's honest, vulnerable, brutal. But it's necessary for her to move forward, and I'm grateful.
It's all about her. It's necessary for her to move forward. It has nothing to do with me starting a podcast called Rock Bottom that I'm branding for myself as some sort of redemption arc story. I think this guy's a narcissist for sure. Like, again, I'm no psychologist. I'm saying that, what are you saying when you don't mean it really? I don't mean it really. That's all I need to know. But narcissistic tendencies, yes, I see that as a nobody.
For the chance to witness it. As disappointed as we were that something so private and painful became such a public spectacle, I get why people were so outraged, and I understand that is the reason that she can't move forward with any sort of public thing without addressing this. So this is that. This is
He's making it all about her needs, her wants, her necessities. I don't believe it. This is all about him, I believe, thus far.
Conversation where we answer your questions. We share what we've been up to these last 3 years and what you can expect from us moving forward.
Nothing.
It's about an hour long. And
in our world of podcast reviews, an hour is short, okay? The other narcissists go up 5 hours, so you're doing good, buddy. Netty. Netty
I know
pot.
that from my perspective, I want to tell stories of curiosity and empathy, and I want them to be meaningful and have value in people's lives. So I hope that you find this impactful. So please join me for this conversation with Ariel Fulmer.
Gulp. Final gulp. It's written in the script. Gulp one more time before you go to the interview. All right. He's taking some accountability. He's really addressing the followers that he believes are there, which I don't believe are there. People who are fans of him specifically that are wanting a heartfelt apology from him about him cheating on his wife. The moment has passed. I don't think the Try Guys are even doing anything anymore that I've seen, or they haven't come up on my worldview at all. I think they're almost on the outs of popularity, and they're kind of, the older generation of creators. I think this is a self-indulgent lesson of, I'm still important. I'm going to give people what they want, which is, this voyeuristic view of a train wreck. And hey, we're here for it, baby. We're here. Welcome to the train wreck. Hey, play. Okay. Music. Dramatic.
Well, here we are.
They don't have, he doesn't have enough money because I hear a humming of like a washing machine. Get some sound dampening stuff in this room, please. Okay. Sorry, next.
Back again.
At it again. It feels weird. Feels a little awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in a podcasting
The humming is bad. Can you hear that?
room.
Yeah.
I mean, we've certainly had a lot of conversations where we've sat like this,
Yeah, that's true.
but not, conversations that are meant for the public.
Mm-hmm. Is it strange to think that people are watching this and listening to it rather than just being in like a therapy setting?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Bizarre.
I mean, it's It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm on the verge of like standing up and walking out of this room. Absolutely.
That's your gut feeling, girl, and you should listen to it because this is not going to go well for you either. It can only be embarrassing. It can be either embarrassing or really sad. And either way, it's not something you want to go through without, unless he's paying her or something. In that case, hey, get that bag, go for it. But otherwise, what the hell are you doing? Sorry, Shepard, thank you so much. Or sorry says he loves attention so much. Yeah, I agree. How does he love attention?
Yes.
He really loves attention, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am not problematic.
That's what Nettie Pot Pie thinks. And he's wrong. All right, before we continue on this, everyone.
Got my celery juice right here. Gonna have to actually drink a little celery juice. Keep me going here.
Grab your celery juice and let's continue. Thank you. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Same.
I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
Good question.
What am I doing? But no, I feel like this is a necessary thing.
Why?
Yeah, we've kind of been just keeping our lives very private for the last 3 years.
We have.
Just
As you should. As you really should.
almost hiding from the world.
We have been hiding. We've been hiding from the world.
Sorry,
and I'm not going to lie, it's been kind of great.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of great to be.
Okay, so she enjoyed it. So why are you in the public eye again? And why is he trying to get back in the public? Interesting choice.
To be super private.
And it's ironic because we don't stop becoming recognizable figures. People still come up to us. People still recognize us. And to the extent that we're kind of moving forward in our lives, that's something that you've talked about. It's like, how can I move forward in my life without people knowing the next part of my story if they're still stuck on the 2022 part of my story?
That's kind of the thing, isn't it?
I would barely recognize him. And I've talked about him and looked at his face when this whole thing happened and knew who he was before. I would barely recognize him. I 100,000% would not recognize her ever. You'd have to be a diehard fan, I think, to recognize her. I'm not trying to be offensive. It's just true. Like, get a grip, everybody.
And that's the whole reason that we're here. Because we're stuck in 2022.
Yeah, at least as far as they know.
Exactly. We have moved on with our lives.
Yeah, we've moved on for a while
We
now.
have moved on with our lives. But
Sure, and also, I don't think anyone really cares deep down.
But like, as far as everybody else is concerned, we're still stuck in 2022.
Yeah.
And
It's also 3 years ago. That's not like, oh, these guys are stuck in 1985. It's like 3 years ago is nothing. It's a blink of an eye.
you know, that brings us to the whole reason that we're here and the reason that we can't walk out of this room, because we live in a social world, right? And we can't move on with our lives if we don't, move on publicly.
Is 1,000% absolutely not true. For the record.
Like publicly
Welcome, Caitlin.
reestablish the context of who we are, how we relate to each other after being so public with our relationship before.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a really strange thing, actually, like that we can't do anything publicly without kind of addressing this first.
Well, yeah. I mean,
oh my God. This is something that I think novice podcasters need to learn after episode 1, and self-help book writers. If you're on chapter 2 of a book or in the minute 7 of a podcast episode and you're talking about how important this podcast episode is, you're missing the point. We are listening to it. We're in the book. We're listening to your episode. start the content. I hear this all the time. It's like, this is so important for everyone. This is like such an important thing to talk about. Yes, it is so important. It's such a really important it's like, okay, we get it. We're here. Get to it, please. The meat. My God.
In 2022, it got so big, right? The whole scandal, it grew and grew and grew and grew.
Is that true?
To the point where it just became this thing that just like got so much bigger than us.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just sort of hid away from it, you know?
Same.
And going completely dark was the only thing that I could think to do. And for the last 3 years, I've just hidden behind the scandal, you know? And now, like, now I can't get out from behind it.
Yeah, because it's a big step to like sit down and do what we're doing and to talk about it.
Right. But even like going out in public with like my kids or just going out to dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing that people see is the scandal.
Yeah. That's a big loss.
It's a big loss, but it's also
He's got weird facial expressions. I just looked up to see like what her profession was because I didn't think she was a YouTuber or anything, like has a public facing job. It looks like she's an interior designer and ceramicist. Is that how you say it? Ceramicist? And she's private on Instagram. It looks like she's got a ceramics business she's trying to start, small batch ceramics. So maybe that's why she wants to start selling plates and stuff. So she's like, I must address the cheating scandal that my husband did to me. Otherwise, once again, hide behind it all day. No one needs to know anything. You don't owe people, especially her, you don't owe anyone anything. If someone brings something up in person, like just tell them they're rude and move on, I guess. I don't know. This seems completely unnecessary. But again, we still haven't heard anything, but this is so important for us to talk about this the way we're talking about this right now. We're talking about this. It's so important to talk about this way. Drives me nuts.
it's a really strange way to go about your normal life. You know, like I am a human who has needs. Like I want to have regular friends and I don't want to like walk up to somebody that I want to be friends with at like preschool and have to start every conversation with like, my personal life is a dumpster fire, as I'm sure you know, but also, do you want to be friends with me? You know, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have some really authentic friendships that have started that way. But like, I don't want to go about my life starting friendships like that.
Yeah. You kind of want the new friends to know the context of like who you currently are as a person.
So
Exactly.
you're gonna send them this podcast. Hey, I have a podcast. It's an hour long. You got to watch it. And then I want to ask you a very serious question. If you will have a play date with my child, let me know. Like, your preschool is not having a watch party for this podcast. Okay, come on.
Exactly.
I remember I have met some people
out?
like,
Oh no, audio is cutting in and out for me. I'm sorry. On mine or on the video? Let's do a refresh. Hold on. Let's do a refresh. I need to delete some documents off my computer. Actually, I think I can do that now. Hold on. Let me delete some things off my computer, and then I will be able to use it. This is just a little intermission. Little intermission. Ned is a guy who loves missionary, but he doesn't want to be with his wife 'cause she is so scary, making pottery. And she loves Rachel Ray. And he's not gay, far as I'm aware. But he also poses on his Instagram like he could be. All right. Now, it should be good. Thank you for this brief interruption. I just needed to hit. Don't look at that. You freaks. Okay, there you go.
Made new friends or kind of introduced myself to strangers. It's like, oh, let's exchange Instagrams. I'm like, well,
right?
Here's mine, but couple of caveats. One, I have a lot more followers than you might expect. Two,
They're admitting that no one knows them. They're assuming everyone knows everything about them, but then they've just told 2 stories where no one knows anything. Okay, got it.
this is pretty outdated. And 3, don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
You
Just
probably don't want to
get
Google
to know me
me
first. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You don't want to be just sort of seen as the sum of your mistakes for me or the sum of your past for you.
Right.
And the challenging thing is it's been complicated for a while. I mean, we are still friends. We have children together. We go on trips together.
Right.
There's a spectrum of being together, not together.
Right.
Like there's ways in which we're together, but it's like the way that everyone wants to know, like, are you?
Dang it. It's got to be the stream itself, because it's in my ears. It feels so good in my ears. It feels perfect to me. Look at me. You may think you see an audio problem, but you would be wrong. Yeah, every day I delete my trash from the can, and then I have more space. Who is having audio issues? Please don't go. When will my stream work again? Oh, my friend. Okay. Maybe? It's not a good sign when it goes black. Let's just do a refresh here. Okay. Take it away. Fix your audio, people. I think also there is a buzzing in their audio that could be being picked up on my computer. Maybe it's trying to fix it or something.
Still friends. We have children together. We go on trips together.
Right.
There's a spectrum of being together, not together.
Right.
Like there's ways in which we're together, but it's like the way that everyone wants to know, like, are you guys still like an item?
Are you?
You guys still a couple? Like, no. We really haven't been at all this last 3 years.
No, we haven't.
Okay, that was kind of a weird way to announce that. So people want to know if we're a couple. And no, we're not, really. No, we haven't been. Okay. Hot piping tea, at least. We got something. They're no longer together, kind of.
There's moments when we kind of tried, but just because you go to a Taylor Swift concert together doesn't mean that you're, that all is forgiven and you're...
No, people ask me, do you forgive Ned for what he did?
No.
And the answer is no. Absolutely not. How can you forgive somebody for lying to you, for cheating on you? No. Fuck no.
It's not even that. It's not even that he did it. That's one thing. It's the blatantness. It's that he is a public figure. He was in public when he was cheating on her, and he didn't seem to care at all. That is worse, I think, than just the cheating part. If the mistress came out and said, we've been cheating, that would be bad. But it's worse that he was so nonchalant about it. Like he felt like he was above people taking a photo of him kissing someone else. Like, are you insane? That's why I feel like there is like not a screw loose, but there's something more going on here mentally, I think, and within him than just cheating. There's some sort of complex, I think, going on here where he feels like he's invincible or godlike. And even this podcast idea is confirming those beliefs for me, that he's got some sort of grandiose ideology about himself.
I don't even, it's, sorry, I saw red for a minute. It's like, no, the answer is no. But also I feel like forgiveness isn't the goal at this point.
Mm.
You know, we've been together for a long time.
Mm.
And you are the father of my 2 beautiful children. And we know each other really well. And I you know, we've worked through a lot of stuff. And
I'm not a jump cut super fan, but I think some jump cuts during these pauses would make this a 30-minute podcast because, oh my God, I think, I was like, oh my God. I watch too many TikToks. I can't tolerate someone taking their moment to speak. I'm sorry. Nachima Gluck. Thank you so much. Nachima Gluck. They say, I'm so confused. What is happening? Why am I here? Is this what professional disorganized attachment looks like? I'm very concerned. You're here because the train wreck of what is happening has been uploaded to the internet for our consumption and ridicule. And that is something I find fascinating in this world. I find many things fascinating. This is one of them. People who put themselves out there, both in the flip side of this, when they put their lives out there as if it was pristine and perfect. Okay, I find that also interestingly odd to do. Like, everyone knows it's bullshit, right? We all know social media is fake. Yet there is a subgroup of people who will know that and push past it and pretend they are perfect. And then when they have a huge scandal like this, it's even more interesting because it's like, wow, it truly is fake out there and people cannot be trusted. And wow, they really presented themselves one way and they're actually like this. And then they play the victim. It's a 3-phased approach, a 3-prong discussion that we're having today. And I find it very odd, but interesting.
Don't you dare get married.
That's what her family probably told her.
They act like they do no harm. They act like they're positive. And this is what they're up to.
This is just stupid.
Thank you, Nachima Gluck. And welcome. We're also concerned.
The fact that I can be around you and still like
tolerate you,
have a good time, and like enjoy spending time with you and enjoy spending time with my kids, like, I think that's a win.
Yeah. It's taken a lot of hard work to do that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, as we've adjusted, we've recalibrated our relationship more towards a platonic friendship, and then, you know, it's just been challenging. But like, I think we're getting to a point of sort of celebrating that and really like embracing it and accepting it for what it is, as we're like grieving the past. And, you know, it's hard to hear you saying like, fuck no, I don't forgive you. But of course I get it. I mean, you're still, as much progress as we've had, you're still very angry.
Yeah, of course I'm angry.
Duh.
You know, we're talking about like not having sat in this position for 3 years, you know, and like, yeah, of course I'm still angry. We lost a lot.
Yeah.
There
It's just embarrassing.
There was a lot that happened 3 years ago.
You're the real star.
It was, I mean, I found out about your affair from the fans. I mean,
What a weird response. Yeah, I have fans, baby. I think that's the proud part about it. I found out from the fans. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very bizarre response.
I mean, the fans.
You
I mean, and I was so blindsided that somebody sent me a picture and I couldn't, it was like my brain couldn't compute. And it's like for some reason I didn't see what was actually there in the picture. I thought it was your sister.
It's called denial. Okay, she's about to say, I heard this in another clip. She's about to say a fan sent her a photo of him cheating with the producer. And she, in her head, was so convinced that he would never do that, that she thought the picture of him kissing the girl was his sister. That is some mental gymnastics that she put herself through, subconsciously, so it sounds, to make Ned the hero. But I think that's his manipulation tactic. And again, it could be subconscious on his part too. But he seems like the kind of guy that gives an air of he is superior and godlike in his mind. So the fact that he got her indoctrinated into that mindset is not that surprising, honestly, to me.
I didn't see what was actually there in the picture. I thought it was your sister. And I remember sending it to you and being like, what's your sister doing in New York? It was, and I think back on that and I think like, what was I, like, how did I not see what was going on? Like, what was so fucked up in my brain that I couldn't actually see what was happening in this picture? Like, the picture was...
Because he had 2 children, and he's on millions of, viewed videos saying that he's a wife guy. It is hard to believe. Honestly. Your life is set up in a certain way. It's, you don't want to see these things. Your brain will try to protect you, I guess.
What was so fucked up in my brain that I couldn't actually see what was happening in this picture? Like, the picture was right there in front of me. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Again, announcement. If you're having audio issues, I think I fixed the problem on my end. You might have to refresh the stream to fix the audio issues. But let me know if that is not true. Thank you.
And then the pieces just started falling and falling and falling, and like, and then more pictures started coming in, and more pictures and more pictures and more pictures. And it is so wild how we live in this world where everything is so public. Like,
by your own choices. Not everyone has their relationships blasted out on YouTube. You're making a choice. You made a choice, and you're making a choice now.
Realize it, but everybody's taking pictures of you everywhere you go, and it's kind of scary, actually. And it makes you realize that whenever you leave your house, you're like, you're not safe. You know? And it kind of like, and then after everything happened, I sort of went into this like this weird state where like nothing was safe, and nothing and nobody, like I couldn't trust anybody. I couldn't trust the public. I couldn't trust you. I couldn't trust my friends. I just stayed inside, like, because there were cameras everywhere. You know, it was like, it was so unsafe. Everything was unsafe.
This is hard to watch.
Yeah, it took a long time to like get back to myself.
How did having it become such a public scandal kind of...
He's asking as if he wasn't the one who caused this. He's asking her as if he's a podcast host that's unrelated to this story. How did it become such a public scandal? I don't know, dude. You should know the answer to that. Well, you take that one. Give your wife a second. She's obviously not doing well.
Change everything for you? Did it make it worse? Did it make it easier? Did it just sort of make it surreal?
It was so many different things. And it was all tied in together too. You know, I think that, and it all, it's like the trauma of discovering that you've been, that like everything that you know isn't real. And then
That's the worst
add
part.
to it this other part where you're sort of being you're being watched by cameras, which isn't something that's like a part of our lives. Like, yes, we are somewhat public figures, but like we've never had cameras waiting outside of our house. Like that's not something that we're used to. Like we're not like celebrities. That's not that's not a part of our lives.
He looks the most disappointed he's looked in this entire thing. Like, yeah, we're not celebrities. You don't mean that, right, babe? You don't really mean that we're not. I'm a celebrity at least, right, babe? Right, honey buns?
And this was a period in our lives where we had like, there was like a car following us, and it was really...
Okay, second announcement. I'll answer my personal questions about things when my tennis lessons are. Yes, they are on Thursdays, so I switched officially to Wednesdays. And I'll answer any questions about my relationships at the end, so you have some incentive to stick around. If you want to hear a really brutal story, I'm just kidding. It's honestly fine. This is way more embarrassing than my relationship stories, but I will answer it after we finish this one.
Strange because we had just, you know, found out that we were dealing with this, you know, with this cheating situation, with this betrayal. We decided to find a new couples therapist, right?
Right.
And so we were driving to our new couples therapist, and so we were in the car together because we decided to drive together, and you decided you needed a snack, and so you had a Tupperware with you, and I had my jug of water, and we got in the car together because we were like, well, why don't we drive together? We're going to the same place. And so we get in the car, and we were driving there, and so you're like eating your apple as you're driving, and I turned to you and I was like, Ned, I think there's a car following us. Like, I'm pretty sure that there's this I'm pretty sure this car has followed us from our house. And you're like, oh, that's weird. Like, I wonder what that could be, you know? And then when we park outside of the...
Zero survival instincts. Or he called them there. That's probably what happened. Oh, so weird. I don't know why that would happen. He probably called them and said, hey, if you want the scoop, me and my wife, my bitch wife, are going to couples counseling. Stupid. That's what he's probably texting the paparazzi.
Couples therapist's office. And we see that this car has a camera. It was like, I think that person just took a picture of us. And so we went inside and we talked about it a little bit, and then we had our therapy session, and then we came out, and then there were multiple people outside, and it was probably one of the strangest situations that I personally have ever been in. I did not know what to do with my face. And so my reaction when I don't know what to do with my face is I smile.
Yeah.
That is my go-to reaction.
He's like, I don't understand that compulsion. My go-to face is this. That's Ned. That's Ned in a nutshell. And a Ned shell.
I don't know what to do with my face. I just smile like an idiot.
That was my reaction too.
I smile like 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 a cat. I just smile. And so
this is the video that everyone
saw. And
like leaving couples therapy.
We're leaving couples therapy.
I don't know what video they're talking about. I never saw that. I wasn't one of the everyone's.
Looking at each other like we don't have a care in the world. And it is because we are absolutely just beyond like this is so bizarre. What is happening right now? This has never happened in our lives ever. We don't know what's going on. Like,
yes, you do.
Let's just get to our car. You know
exactly what's going on. Come on.
We're just smile. Just smile. They're not gonna hurt us. Who are these people? Everything's fine. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was the strangest situation. It was so bizarre.
I remember our neighbors during that time were doing some roof repair work. And so
our neighbors during that time, I can't even do it. Our neighbors during that time are doing. I'm starting to sound like RFK. He's on the RFK spectrum of voice modularization.
there was this
there's a construction
unmarked
van.
white van outside of our house, and it was parked there for weeks. And we had it in our heads that it was a paparazzi van, and
it absolutely was not. But it was the strangest thing. I thought.
He's like, well, it could be though. I am really famous that someone would park outside for multiple days, multiple weeks for me.
For weeks, anytime you walk out the door, being like, "Oh, there's a van."
Yeah, that was really strange.
I can see how that caused you to really feel unsafe and mistrusting of the whole world.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. Yeah, it's the van people who are mistrusting, not to be trusted, for sure. The call is coming from inside the house.
Just want to acknowledge that and just note that it's because of things I did that caused you to experience that.
Yeah.
What was that moment like when everything changed for you?
Awful, obviously. It was kind of surreal. I thought to myself, what would somebody who's been cheated on, what would somebody in a movie do?
Really?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking of a specific movie or something like that. I was thinking
what kind of judgment is that? Really? That's what you thought? Shut up. You did this to her, you evil man.
What would what do people do in this situation?
I do feel like we should go a little faster. Let's try 1.5. Because I can't keep up. They're just talking so fast.
I wasn't thinking I wasn't thinking for myself. I was thinking like what do I do next? I remember we were in New York, and you were just picking me up from the airport. And I was so like naively, so you were driving a rental, and I just naively looked over to you in the driver's seat, and I was like, why was Grace in New York? Like, I didn't realize Grace was in New York. Why was she, referring to that picture that I had sent to you? And you looked over at me with this look on your face, and it was like,
let me guess the look. It's probably that look she's describing.
the veil just fell like this. Like I knew in my brain that something was going on, but I just sort of refused to believe it. And then when I saw that like just wildly guilty look on your face, like you wanted to tell me something, and I didn't even let you say anything. I was like, turn this car around. You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember it happening like that, but it doesn't matter.
He doesn't remember it happening like that, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so he has no cares. He's disassociating with this whole experience as well. Cool. But he's going to make a whole podcast about it, about how he's made, his amends, but he doesn't remember anything. Got it. Cool. Okay, I'm playing it back again.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember it happening like that, but it doesn't matter.
How do you remember it happening?
Oh, I mean, you asked me a couple of different follow-up questions as I just sort of answered them. And then, once I answered it in such a way that you knew exactly who it was and what had happened, then you were like, take me back to the airport.
Yeah.
That part was very cinematic, if you were trying to be like in a movie.
Turn this fucking car around.
I feel like that was an insult. It was very dramatic, very cinematic of you to want to go back to the airport. I don't like this guy. Something about this guy. He seems like a skeeve. Something about him just throws me off. Maybe it's the cheating. I don't know. Nachama Gluck. Thank you so much. They say, life tip. Never trust a man with this much vocal fry. It almost always indicates a double life or huge unresolved cognitive dissonance, untrustworthy. Is that true? Is there like a study on this? I'm curious. The more fry, the more sly. Ned, he's that try guy. Hey! Oh my god, I should be a rapper. When you got the vocal fry, you need to try a guy that is not on the YouTube page, and he will not get in a rage when you catch him in a lie. Try guy. Try guy. Try again guy. Not your friend guy. Okay.
I love myself so much.
That's Ned. Sorry about the constant ambulance.
You're not freaking fine.
That's what I say to Ariel. You're not freaking fine, girl. Shut up! Shut up over there. Oh, thank you.
Holy and broken hallelujahs.
That one's for you, Nachima Gluck. And also, finally, this.
They are the victims of cancel culture.
That's what they think, this couple. Okay, back to it.
Talk
to it.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of sort of delusions and rationalizations that you, as the person doing that, sort of are telling yourself as to why it's not so bad, or why it's going to be okay, or why actually this talked about it in this way. And then it's like, I remember that moment, it all just kind of like fell down, where I totally could see how devastated and just completely traumatized you were. And then it was just like, oh, everything changed for me as well. I'm like, oh no, this is like, I've been hurting this person that I love this whole time.
You didn't realize until then?
Well, but then there's other things you tell yourself to kind of...
Yeah, good point. You didn't realize till that moment when you got caught, that it was going to be harmful? That's surprising.
Sort of compartmentalize. No, but then there's...
Go back.
You didn't realize until then.
Well, you know, but then there's other things you tell yourself to kind of sort of compartmentalize, or I guess.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, you have learned nothing. I catch myself doing this, so I'm guilty of this too. But when you don't want to take responsibility, I'm doing it right as I say it. Oh my God. When I don't want to take responsibility for something, I will say a hypothetical you. You know, when people do this or that, and it's something I'm describing about myself, but it's something bad, I'll say, you know, you compartmentalize things, but I'm talking about myself. I feel like that's a way to, third person your bad behaviors, like he just did. He didn't say I compartmentalized this. He says, you know, you compartmentalize it, putting distance between him and the action. I don't think he's taking responsibility, obviously. Beth Peters picked a pair character doing a shaka sign with his hand saying, cool. Ah, amazing.
Whatever.
I'm just kidding. I love it. Okay, this is what I have to say.
Time for me, you, and all the nations to get us some elevation.
Shaka sign with, oops. Hey, that's the shaka sign. I'm seeing it with the pair. Very cool, very cool. Okay, take it away. She's disappointed in him. She's like, you've learned nothing.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Sort of it's like a addictive cycle, kind of feeling really guilty and ashamed, and then telling yourself the ways in which it's, kind of just lying to yourself. And then
I'm curious to hear, I think that would actually be interesting insight and vulnerable insights. What were the justifications in your mind? I have a feeling, this is what I'll guess, and again, I'm projecting my own lived experience and thoughts onto this situation. I don't know anything. My guess would be men and women, but men specifically probably more, tend to justify it, go, well, my wife's not having sex with me. My wife's not giving me what I want ever since the kids got here, whatever. So it's okay for me to go pursue a secondary relationship because I have needs. And I asked my wife once and she said she had a headache, and therefore, I should be allowed to do whatever I want and keep it on the DL. That's my guess. I think if he wanted to be honest about that, it would still make him a bad person, but at least that would be a real vulnerability. Because I am curious, what was the justification in your mind? Because I find it hard to believe that it was something he thought he could get away with it. You're in public and you're a semi-public figure and you're kissing someone who's works for the company. I mean, it's like, come on, you're wanting to get caught at that point.
Yeah. And I did want to tell you, and
yeah,
there was probably a small part of me that was sort of relieved to not be keeping a secret, I guess. Is that hard for you to hear?
No, that part's not hard for me to hear. I think it's, I've done a lot. I've spoken a lot with other betrayed partners over the last 3 years, and it's something that I've heard a lot. This idea of like when there's this sense of relief when the partner who's doing the betraying is able to finally tell the betrayed partner that about all the things that they have been doing, and kind of put their shame onto the other partner. They, in that like sort of release of their like of all of that like
shame and guilt
and guilt that they've been holding. It's almost like they feel so much relief, but the partner then has to accept it. And that's exactly what happened. When you told me, suddenly then I had to take all of that guilt and shame of your affair and And it was so much to carry. So much. Like, and I know that like, and you know, suddenly something that like you had, that, and it, like the wild thing is that this was something that you had done, you know, like I had no part in this. This was not like, you could even say that you had done this to me, you know, like I was the victim of this situation. And yet when you told me, I had to like accept your guilt and your shame. And in our like,
it's a very interesting point. I've never really thought about that when the person who's guilty of something is telling you, that does release them, and now the pressure's on you to be a forgiving person, to be a kind-hearted partner, and to be understanding and empathetic. It almost is like a release valve for people who have been hurting them, and now all of a sudden everyone's looking at them. Well, what's your reaction? How are you going to handle this? Are you a good person or a bad person? Are you going to abandon the father of your children? What example are you going to be as a person that's has to make a decision now? It's tough. That's a tough one. And it's not like they were dating. Again, they had children and they were married. When you make those kinds of commitments, this stuff does matter. If he, I guess you can't go back in time, as he said. I agree. But it seems like he was not ready to be in that position of father and a husband. And I don't think he's come to grips with that yet, based on this conversation.
Society where couples are, especially married couples, like when men have affairs, women are often looked at as like, well, what did you do wrong?
Yeah.
And it's so hard to get out from under that of like, well, what did you do to make him look elsewhere? Were you not a good enough wife? Were you not, did you not make him happy enough?
Well, I think he subscribed to that because that's what he was saying. He justified it to himself. He compartmentalized it and justified it. So I think that he was projecting those feelings onto her, probably.
And there's so much shame there. And I'm so tired of holding that. I'm so tired of holding it. How does it make you feel to hear that? I mean, did it ever occur to you that like,
this podcast is ass? I mean, not just this episode, but him as a host, suck. Bad. Imagine if you didn't have the visuals. We would be sitting in silence for several beats, a minute. It's too much. How do you feel? She has to like prompt him. How do you feel about that? Great input. Thank you.
That like, not only did you having an affair, just it shattered our marriage, but it also, like, all of that guilt and shame, you like hoisted that on me. Like you gave that to me. And now I have to carry that around for the rest of my life.
I don't think it's fair that as a society you're put in that position. It's certainly not true.
Oh, society's fault. It's society's fault that he cheated on her and that people are putting this judgment onto her, including himself. It's society's fault. Okay, cool. I think she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Society. It's not fair. Okay, what about your actions? Your responsibility here.
And no, it's not something that I imagined as I was doing that. I think none of it was. If you really like let it sink in just how much you're hurting your partner and how devastating it is, like, how could you do that? It's still very difficult now, even 3 years later, to see you in pain as you're talking about that, because there's nothing I can do to change the past or to help.
Well, I think there is. I think it's actually coming to terms with why you did it, fixing that about yourself, and then trying to be a good partner and co-parent to your ex-wife. I don't know if that's happening. I don't get that vibe. The fact that you're starting a podcast about your downfall does not give me that implication.
It's kind of weird to think about it now, because I feel like I'm in a really good place now, and And going back to like before I discovered the affair, it feels like going back to this weird fantasy world where like, I don't know, I thought we had this love that like transcended, I don't know. But it was a fantasy. It was
content for the internet. That's what it was. It was for others' consumption, not for their own relationship, their own intimacy. It was a facade for clicks.
It was like, you know, I trusted you so completely. And I mean, we grew up together. We got married when we were like in our early 20s.
Yeah.
We were babies. We had nothing. I mean, we moved out to LA with just our car full of stuff. I mean, I'm like tearing up just thinking about it. We were just kids. And it's like, it really was a fantasy. And I just think, how could you do that to me? Like, who are you?
Good question. Answer the question, Ned. Who are you? Why is there no response from him? Why is he letting so much silence sit between them? If anything, edit this. My God. Just from a content perspective, but also give her something. You're giving us nothing. This is, I think, their relationship. Him sitting very like, I'm stuck in this thing. This is my circumstances. And her peering out the window like, what? Where's my husband at? This tends to represent them, I think. With 2 microphones nearby.
I'm so sorry.
We had so much. There was so much. We had so much life left. We still have so much life left. I don't know why I'm crying.
I know why.
I think it's like the loss of that dream that we both had. It felt like that in that time period for me too.
Shut up. I know I just said, say something. And then a second later, I'm like, shut up. But this is my stream. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. Conflicting directions. I felt that way too. You're not the victim here, dude. Come on.
What happened?
Well, the dream started to break apart for me, and then rather than
in what way
being able to talk about it or to confront those feelings, I wanted to. I guess I was too afraid to say how I was actually feeling. And
how was the dream breaking apart? Get into a detail, please. Would you, for once, please? What part of it was not working for you? You had your dream career, making tons of money, 2 kids, apparently love your wife, you're having her be in content and whatever. What's wrong? Tell me.
it seemed, I don't know. I chose to deal with it and deal with like feelings I was experiencing in a way that was really self-destructive and hurtful to you. And it wasn't like anything you did or like we had a bad marriage. It was about me and choices that I made and just actions that I took that I'll always regret. I'll always regret how much pain I caused you and other people.
He regrets the pain that was caused, but he doesn't regret the actions that he took. He hasn't said, I regret doing what I did. He's really only said, I regret causing destruction. So really, if there was no destruction to be done, if you would have kept the marriage together, then there's really nothing I need to apologize for. That's maybe a little bit in between the lines of what he's saying here.
You know, and I'm deeply, deeply sorry.
Good point, Lou.
And I'll spend my whole rest of my life trying to make amends to you.
Yeah.
And to,
Sure.
show up differently, to lead a life of integrity, and to be a father that our children.
I think he's going to find a new girl, get married to her, and probably do the same thing. Honestly, it doesn't seem like he's worked through anything.
Can learn from. Because you did nothing to deserve this, and I completely, suddenly, violently shattered our marriage, our relationship, and like everything you knew. And
I think the thing is too, and again, I don't know what, maybe they'll get into details, let's hope, that they were together. They've just recently broken up, or they were trying at least to go to couples counseling and work on things and figure out things. So it seemed like she was in. She was in even after the betrayal, even after the scandal, even with all the negative attention. She seemed like she wanted to try. I feel like she gave up because she saw he didn't want to change. He hasn't really changed, and he refuses to take accountability in any real meaningful way. So I think she might have given up after trying, because I'm not feeling that he's changed. I think he's in the same exact mindset. He just is not in a relationship right now.
That was all my
or
fault.
he might be in a relationship, but not with her. So when he gets to be in another marriage with someone, he'll probably have the same reaction of, I need to get out. I need to find someone who worships me again.
Just all choices that I made.
So where do we go from here?
I mean, that's kind of how we've been, what we've been working on, I guess, over the last 3 years. We can make new promises to each other as friends, as co-parents. What was the thing that kind of started changing things for you?
Maybe just time. Time and, I don't know, courage. And, I mentioned making those authentic relationships, like finding those real friends.
Oh.
And they're like, I don't care that your life is messy. I really like you for who you are. I see your joy. I like every part of you.
Yeah.
And I want to be a part of your life. Like, don't push me away,
It was a real moment of kind of discovering who your real, true, authentic friends are, and
Yeah.
kind of then cherishing that, and those people that you can kind of be completely yourself with.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
They're not just seeing a one-dimensional version of you.
Yeah, totally.
When did things start to feel a little more safe for you?
When you moved out.
I think as I just got more comfortable talking to people about like what happened, and they just seemed to not care.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't a big deal.
It is kind of funny. It's like the whole, internet and people making TikToks seem to care so much. And then you meet anyone in real life and it's like everyone has some way to relate to some sort of a cheating story.
Just like all the parents at Wes's school.
Okay, I don't think that was the takeaway, Ned. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, people on TikTok seem to really care, but everyone else, like, cheats, so it's not that big of a deal. It's like, no, I think in the real world, people aren't as hyper-obsessed and also care that much. And also, you're out in public, they're going about their own day. When you're online, yeah, of course, it's curated to bring attention to the things that are interesting to you. So, in a crisis, the tip that I would say is get off the internet and just stay off the internet and go off the grid and move on with your life and find a job that's not in the spotlight. And true happiness can be reached. It's a nirvana, some may say. Interesting take from him.
Or, they're like, either they don't know or they don't give a flying fuck. They're like, yeah, who cares? They're like,
yeah,
it's one of many scandals.
Yeah.
Like, also it was 3 years ago. Like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I feel.
Totally. And yet here we are with a brand new branded podcast about said topic. He's not over it. He needs his fame.
Yeah.
They're sort of like,
right, because when you're in the
who
school
cares?
Environment, like there's a bunch of different types of families and parents, and some people are
Nobody
together, some
cares.
people aren't, and I'm sure every marriage or relationship has a story as to how it breaks down.
Like,
no, that's not the answer. That's not what she's saying. She's saying people don't give a shit that this guy is a cheating loser. Most people don't care. They go, whatever. Okay. Oh, now I know this about this person. Great. whatever. We're not going to kick you out of the preschool girls club, you know, because this happened to you 3 years ago. Not that everyone can relate to this because everyone's cheated on their spouse and been on the internet for it. That's the wrong takeaway, Ned.
It just gives you so much perspective.
Yeah.
It gives you so much perspective to just be in a group of people where nobody cares.
Yeah.
You know, and it gives you, honestly, I think that is what gives me the courage to just be like, you know what? It's okay.
Right.
I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay.
She
like
will be.
I can.
She will be totally okay. I think she's done work. I don't think he's done work. She is gonna be okay.
Live in a world where this has happened and people know and also we've moved on. You know?
Right.
Like I can go on dates and not have people be whispering about me. I don't know. I just imagine a world where I could just be myself and not have this thing following me around. You know, where I don't have to
Give it one more year.
Like where maybe we are at a restaurant with our kids and I don't have to feel shame because I'm like, you know, having fun.
Right.
You know, where people are like, oh my God, are they back together?
Right.
Just because I'm like having a joyful time with my kids and my ex-husband. You know, like, is that a crime?
Yeah.
To feel joy?
Like, can I live?
You know,
Let them.
let them.
Let them. Yeah.
Oh God, don't bring Let Them into this. Keep Mel Robbins out of this situation. I'm surprised she's not here doing this interview. She would fall right in line with Ned. Like, that's really interesting, Ned. You really are a great guy. That's my Mel Robbins impression. Mel Robbins out.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to Greece together next week. Right. It's like, life is weird sometimes.
Like, yes, like we travel together. It's we have a familial relationship.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we've like redefined our relationship not as partners, romantic partners.
Yeah.
As sort of like, you know, family or platonic partners and pals, if you want to say pals. I feel the same way, that it was kind of the social communities in school or wherever you are that you kind of just start to feel less alone.
Yeah.
Where, you know, somebody that's your friend or like another couple that you're friends with just will say like, you know, hey, like, it was shitty what you did. And also everyone goes through hard times and you move forward the best you can. And whether you are together or not, or sort of together friendly but not romantically, like however you want to live your life as your family moving forward, that's like your business.
Right. Yeah.
And at the same time, people looking on the outside can kind of feel that nonchalance. And on the inside, it's like, what I did to you is one of the most devastating things I think that a person can experience. Like I understand why, broadly speaking, these like scandals are such, you know, ignition points, because it's a lot of people can relate to it and a lot of people feel so much pain around it.
And it can be both.
It can be both, yeah.
And it can be both at the same time. It can be both at different times. And you know, it can be one thing one day and something different another day. You know, I have some days when I hate your guts. And, you know, and there are other days when I enjoy your company more than not. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It can be both.
It can be both.
You know, some days are really sad because I feel the loss. But other days, I feel a lot of gratitude and joy for where we're at now. Especially, I mean, our kids are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
And I mean, they're worth every cent we've spent on therapy. Like,
yeah, because I mean, that's like a big reason why we're working so hard to rebuild.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I would call it rebuilding. I
was
think
going to say rebuilding. What do you mean? I thought they're ending and moving on. That's not rebuilding.
building something new.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't even know if I would call it rebuilding. I think we're building something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think you have to feel like that.
the past is no longer.
Oh, burn that shit to the ground.
Anyway, it's very strange living and having a marriage while also having that be so like public facing.
What did you say? It was weird having a marriage? I missed it.
Anyway, it's very strange living and having a marriage while
Living and having a marriage and also having it in public?
also having that be so like public facing. Did you
Again, whose idea was that? Yours, dude.
ever feel that there was these like layers of like the public facing you versus the real you?
Yes, and that was always a struggle for me because I felt like I wanted the two to be the same. You know, I always wanted to be one whole person, and I didn't want to be like an actor on camera and then another person in my real life. You know, and that's the funny thing about like being a YouTuber or being an influencer is people expect you to be one person in your real life. And
Just so you know, I'm 7 people. Okay. Seven. What is the lyric that I like? 7 women and they all were you. That John Mayer song. Paper don't turn it out. 7 women and they were all you. That's me. Okay. I messed that up. Sorry.
on the internet, and then when you're not, then it's like, well, you're lying, you know. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's ironic because at the same time, I think what the internet wants from you is to be a one-dimensional character.
How so?
Yeah, we definitely want that for sure. That's what everyone's just giddy about. One-dimensional characters. He's like, the internet doesn't want me to have a wife and a girlfriend. That's so messed up. They're all haters. They want everyone to have one-dimensional relationships. Okay.
Because at the same time, I think what the internet wants from you is to be a one-dimensional character.
How so?
Well, you know, I think there's if you make TikToks as like a certain persona or doing a certain joke, if you deviate from that joke, oftentimes your like engagement will plummet. Like people kind of want to like just see, it's like, oh, it's like you're a stereotype. You're kind of like that person, and then I guess I noticed that in my own work. It's like the things that consistently drew people in were adorable family posts or talking about my wife, and then producers lean into that and like craft situations for me.
Producers? Producers lean into that. That's who he cheated on his wife with. A producer. So it's her fault too. It's the wife's fault and the mistress's fault. Because they wanted him to be a one-dimensional person. It's the internet and the mistress producer. Yeah, people just made me share my family and pretend like I was a family guy. It's their fault. It's not me trying to mislead people. It's people wanting that from me. This is Rachel Hollis coded. For sure.
But also,
she said the same thing. Like, people wanted me to be this guru. It's like, bitch, you were the guru first, and then people wanted you to live up to what you created. Whose fault is that?
Adorable family posts or talking about my wife, and then producers lean into that and like craft situations for me. And I don't know, over time it felt super pigeonholed and just like I had to fulfill this one like quadrant in a foursome to just be this like, kind of.
It was forced on him, guys. It was forced on him. It's not his fault.
Caricature.
You're like put in a box.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to like be a full person with nuance on the internet. There's always sort of a performance layer.
So what are you gonna do now that you're back on the internet?
It's a great question. I for a long time didn't want to return to the internet because I didn't see a way of. I didn't want to be myself. I didn't want to make anything. I didn't feel creative. And as time.
And the thing is too, and this is again actually speaking of Rachel Hollis, same problem she has. There is other things to create on the internet other than pimping your life out. Surprisingly so, you could pick up a craft, you could make recipes, you could go to national parks and cover the amenities. If you are so desperate to create content, as they say, make cool shit with cool people, if that was your true passion, there's so many things that don't require your face, that don't require you to talk about your children and post photos of your wife and pretend that your life is perfect. There's many, many things, but they say that they don't want the negative hatred and haters, but all they can come up with is obsessively talking about themselves on the internet. That is the problem. But I think if they were to do knitting, YouTube, crochet, whatever, they would hate it because they're not being obsessively watched and talked about for who they are. And it's a persona for sure, but it wouldn't be satisfying to them, I think. It wouldn't be satisfying enough to do something, to create content, because creating content's hard. It's a lot of work and effort. It's not like a hard job, like laborious, but it's not easy to just, make it and make it good and do it consistently for years. Like, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So for them to do it for the passion of it, no, they want to be obsessed over by fans. They want money and riches. They want no criticism, and they want to be glorified as some sort of special person compared to others. And the only way they can get that is if they make content about their own life. It's a addiction, I think, or some sort of drug high that they get, and they would not get it from making other content.
Just moved on. I have a desire to create and to tell stories, but I don't really want it to be about myself as a character or myself or my relationship or my personal life.
And they all want to tell stories. They always want to tell stories. I said that for a long time in my life. I want to be a storyteller. At least I was in journalism. I wasn't talking about my my issues. I wasn't talking about myself and what I'm doing today. That's not a story. I mean, it is, I guess, but it's a self-centered story. If you want to tell stories, go become a journalist.
I've always been drawn to things that make people curious and finding ways of connecting people with their interests. And so I came up with I see myself more as like a host and more as just a vehicle for other people's stories.
Yeah, okay.
And
okay, yeah, sure. You can host like other canceled people? Why? We get enough of that. I'm good, actually. I don't need to hear from more canceled people.
I don't know. Maybe I can, because of what I've gone through and my past, like connect with people and empathize with people. What?
Yeah, no, I'm just. You think you're interesting enough?
No, I don't.
You think other people?
I think other people would be interesting, and then that's regardless of whether I think I'm interesting. I don't want to talk about my personal life.
He wants to be like, that's why we broke up. That's why I cheated on you, because of your comments like that. I think that's what was coming through his brain that he stopped immediately. Because it's true. I think maybe she was being honest with him. Like, dude, do you really think you're interesting enough without all the pizzazz of the other men that are on the Try Guys and the production value and the hyper, editing? No. This ain't doing it for the internet. And I'm going to tell you, it ain't going to do it.
I think other people would be interesting. And then that's regardless of whether I think
You're bad. And he's a bad host. Like, he doesn't, this is his ex-wife or wife. He doesn't really ask her many questions that are interesting or intriguing or telling her story. It's like grunting at her monologue.
I don't want to talk about my personal life or my family. Like, I want to keep our children out of the spotlight. I want to keep our dating lives private. Like, it's
yeah, right.
It's not a good idea for my mental health, at least, but I think also in general, to sort of make your whole life your brand.
Then why did you make a podcast about your downfall and put your name on it and you're the host? Like, come on, give me a break. You could be a producer on someone else's podcast if you wanted to connect people to interests. Go work on Freakonomics or something, or The Daily. Anyways.
I want to make stuff that helps people learn things, make stuff that helps people like empathize with others. And, the idea behind the podcast is to
I've empathized with him more before I listened to this podcast, to be honest.
Tell stories of other people's challenging times and how they overcame them. Because if there's one thing I noticed is that people really seem to care about the train wreck that I caused.
Would you say that was your rock bottom? Have you hit your rock bottom? Or do you think?
No.
So, yeah. Yeah,
No.
I would say my rock bottom was...
When he goes bald, that'll be his rock bottom.
It's funny. In the car, there was still a part of me that thought, maybe, because we've been doing therapy, like we kind of had talked about a variety of things, and my rock bottom was, being in a. I think the moment for me is you like sent me a text that night that was like, I don't think we can get past this, and it's just sort of like my whole world crashed. I was like, oh, right. What I did wasn't like in our boundaries or in any sort of like what I did was unforgivable, and there's no hope. And I don't think I slept that night. I remember writing you a long letter, and
now this is a mental health question for him to ask his own therapist. How come that didn't cross your mind allegedly once? It was only when his wife said, I don't think I can get past this. It's only when she called him out on the cheating that all of a sudden he was like, oh, I didn't realize this would be a consequence. Like, he's a generally intelligent man. Why would you not know that at this stage? Like, you've watched movies before. You say everyone cheats, so, you know, you must have experiences from other couples that have talked to you about this. And it just seems obvious. Why is he saying, oh, I never realized it until you said whatever, you know, we can't get past this? Why are you choosing to ignore very basic principles of life?
it was ironic. That weekend I was at a wedding, and they like played our wedding song as their dance. And it was like black tie. Everyone's very fancy. I just like stepping away to cry every 20 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Well,
He was probably wasted and also texting his girlfriend.
We have a couple more minutes. I know we could keep on talking. Maybe we will, but
are there any last minute questions we need to address before?
Are we together?
No.
We are not together. We live separately. We are devoted co-parents to our two beautiful, beautiful children. Wes, who is 7, and Finn, who is almost 5.
Are we dating other people?
I mean, I'm open to dating other people. I mean, yes, we are dating other people. Yeah.
Will you ever be returning to some of your past work?
What kind of work?
Like your old podcast?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
No, I'm grateful for my time there, but
healthy woman, yay! Good. Be grateful that it happened and move the F on. Good idea.
No, I think that era is over.
So what's next for you? I know that, you're a creative person, that you've been doing a bunch throughout your career, and it's kind of like, it must be exciting to kind of be like a solo artist now.
Yeah. I mean, these last 3 years have given me a lot of time to kind of express what I love. And I've gone back to pottery, which is something that I was really into in college. It started out as just something that I wanted to do just to, kind of center myself as a hobby. But I've gotten really into it. And I've been spending a lot of time in my own studio, and I'm starting up my own business. Mm-hmm. I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we'll see where it takes me. Yeah.
Do you think you're going to be like a public, do you want to continue being an influencer?
Probably not. For a couple of reasons. I mean, the first reason is that I really enjoy just making stuff in my studio by myself.
See, a pottery maker is something where you don't have to be the star of the show. The piece that you make it's actual art. And I think that is so much healthier than I'm going to make a podcast about myself and my downfall and then claim that it's for the help of other people to find their interests. Like, give me a break, why don't you?
I know that sounds so silly, but I love just going into my pottery studio and just sitting at my wheel and getting so dirty and not filming it and just doing what I want to do and making mistakes and just sometimes making really shitty stuff and not having to tell anyone about it, Mm-hmm. And the second reason is that I feel like sometimes, and we don't have to put this part in, but it is a valid reason. I feel like sometimes people who are on the internet, there is another standard of beauty for people who are on the internet, and I don't want to hold myself to that standard anymore. I'm going to be 40 this year, and I want to look at myself in the mirror and I want to say, fuck yeah. I don't want to look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh my God, are people going to notice that I don't look like I'm 30 anymore? Are people going to think that I look old? Are people going to think that my, that this is bad or this is bad or this is bad? I love looking in the mirror and being like, you know what? I look great. Like good enough is good enough.
It's a refreshing place to be. Huh?
It's so great. It's so great to be like, I look awesome.
Yeah.
I think these are all very positive goals and a very positive future outlook of, if you could actually accomplish these things that you want to do, that she's saying that she's interested in, she could have a very happy, normal, successful life. What he's setting himself up to do right now is a train wreck and a rockier bottom than he's at right now. I think this podcast can go nowhere but down, in my opinion. The chances of it succeeding are low, I think. And now he's going to spiral out of control, I think. I have a feeling that she's really happy and moving on, and getting rid of him probably was the best thing that could have happened to her, because he was obviously living in some sort of alternate universe and not being totally honest. And she seems to be thriving now, which is great. And I think she's really put in the work, so it seems. I mean, I have no idea. She could be also lying and full of shit. I have no clue. But based on what I think she's doing good.
I don't want to look in the mirror and be like, I don't look good enough. I don't love that place. And I think that being a public person, that you sort of have to look at yourself that way. Or at least that was my experience. And I choose not to do that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me,
He's like so disappointed. He's like, that's awesome. I hate it because you're succeeding and I'm not, but that's awesome because I'm supposed to say that. That's what I'm supposed to say in this situation. So I'm going to say the right thing, but then resent you secretly and quietly.
Choose not to do that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, I also love creating, and instead of making pottery, I like making media. So there is this sort of inherent, if I'm going to be in it, you have to kind of think about what you're saying, what you look like, and it can be hard, but.
He's like, well, for you, you're making pottery, which is your passion, and you're an artist, but I'm also an artist because I make media, so I have to care what I look like. Okay. And again, media does not mean you could make a short film and you don't have to be in it. That's the thing that influencing has warped people's minds. They go, this is the only thing I can do is be on camera and be so absorbed with myself and share myself with the world. It's like, dude, dive into that. Why is that such an obsession that you're willing to do embarrassing shit like that to get back into that? It's a toxic place, but I think it's toxic, like alcohol is toxic. It's so good, but then you feel bad afterwards, but you do it again because it was so good. And then some people just take it up to the extreme level.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
What can I do as a co-parent and a friend to continue supporting you and what?
Child support, alimony, and shutting the hell up about her now on your dumbass podcast. Sorry.
What do you want from me going forward?
Just be authentic. Just be authentic with your audience.
Mm-hmm.
What are your hopes and dreams for the future?
He cut her off quick with that one. Be authentic. He's like, well, what else? Okay, enough of that question. What are your hopes and dreams?
I just generally want to be the person that I genuinely believe that I am.
Yeah.
I feel like for a long time I've wanted to be one person, but I've lived the life of a person who isn't that person, and I'd like for those two things to be the same.
Same.
Yeah, and
what do you hope for the two of us?
Child support, alimony, shut the hell up.
I just want each of us to grow in the way that makes each of us happy.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be who you are, and I want me to be who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I want for you to feel like you can be who you are, and I want you to.
The unfortunate part of this, and I kind of identify with him in this way, is it's not that people sometimes, and I feel this about myself sometimes, it's not that people are faking who they are. They just don't know who they are for whatever reason, from childhood stuff, from a lack of support at certain times of your life. You never had a chance. Maybe you're, poor, like you don't have a chance to really explore different things or travel or see yourself until you're like way later in life. And it's kind of like, then now you have your own responsibilities. I think if you have sort of a rougher childhood or, I don't know, maybe a neglected childhood, that you might not discover who you are. And so when you get into these adult relationships, you put on what the other person's doing or who they are, and you put it on, you try it on, you go, okay, this could be me, but you don't really know. And so then you go into work and they kind of want you to be someone, you kind of figure out who they want you to be or would like you to be, and then you do that. And then as you're growing up through this process, all of a sudden you're like, this isn't me, but it was you before because you didn't know who you were and you had to go through that experience to find out whether it fits or not. But when you're in your 30s and you have children and a wife, you kind of forfeit that opportunity. And so I do identify with that because I feel like I've done that where I'm like, I don't know who I really am or what I really want. And it's been a little hard to figure that out. But at the same time, I didn't have children and didn't get married. So I think that's the difference. Like if you feel like you are unsure, don't go through these big commitments because that's when you hurt people. Anyways.
To, feel like you can do that without judgment. I want the same for myself.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think that by kind of moving forward more as individuals, we'll each be able to kind of be the best version of ourselves and to kind of discover maybe parts of ourselves that are less to the forefront when you're like really in a relationship. But that's for us as individuals. But for us, as co-parents, I hope that we raise boys of honesty and integrity that are happy and feel loved. And I hope that we're a team who tells each other what's on our mind, even if it's not always, hard to say or easy to hear. That's what I hope for us, is to have a parenting partnership based on in laughter, in respect, and in honesty.
Me too.
Okay.
Thank you again to Ariel. Thank you for your honesty, your vulnerability, your directness. This truly meant a lot to me, and thank you for watching. Next week, I'm excited to not be the subject of the episode. I'll be having a conversation with Lara Love Hardin. She is a mother who overcame a battle with heroin addiction.
Oh my God.
And eventually was a Oprah book club bestseller. So it's full of insightful and human drama, and you're not going to want to miss it. So see you next week.
What a pivot. We got a former heroin addict to talk to. Oof, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow, I will say. Ned talked, like, what does this guy know? Like, he's going to be so out of his depth. Yuck. Yikes, I mean to say. Love Hardin? Lara Love Hardin. I'll give you a preview, everybody. This is who that is. The Many Lives of Mama Love. And if Oprah loves it, I'm sure it's probably got a tinge of toxicity to it. It's got if I could overcome, you should have no excuse at the gym. So that's who will be on the podcast. I don't foresee this kickstarting his career back into gear. Unfortunately not, in my opinion. Okay, well, hey, we wrapped up early. We done good. Hey, look, I'm in my own blue podcast studio. Wow. Well, I think that's the last time we'll hear from Ned, unless he has some sort of larger scandal. But in terms of becoming a creator on his own and all that, I could be wrong. I'm always wrong all the time. But I don't think he's got that spark. I would be interested to follow Ariel on her ceramics journey, to be honest. And I'll show you that, so maybe you can go support. She just launched it. But she's coming out of this looking, I mean, not that she looked bad to begin with because she did nothing wrong, but she's looking way more of a sympathetic figure and someone who I want to back and support than him. Because I think there is a way, like a John Mulaney style where you can be honest and authentic and retain your base, you know, and kind of overcome the weirdness with cancel culture, whatever. But you got to be more famous, more beloved, better at your craft, and willing to withstand while the process rebuilds. And I just don't see it for him. It's honestly kind of sad to think that he has such faith in this. And again, I could be wrong, but it seems like not a winnable situation, personally. Oh yeah, my producer forced me to post this photo. And she's private. I think that's a great idea. And here's her ceramics company. Small Batch Ceramics, production by Ariel Fulmer. Get it, queen? Hey. Yes. You make that pot. No wedding ring. That's the first comment. No wedding ring. Yes. 1,000 likes. Second comment. I completely randomly for the first time in 2 years saw, I wonder what happened to Ariel Fulmer. I haven't heard about her in 2 years. Opened Google and saw this was just posted. My intuition is impeccable. Can't wait to see what this page will be all about. Honestly, I love her. I hope someday she changes to her maiden name. I think it's so unique and beautiful. Her kids can eventually choose their last name. This is what I did, and I'm forever thankful to my parents. Yeah, that is such a weird thing with marriage, that if you get divorced, you still carry their last name. So odd. So odd to me. And sometimes women will get married twice, and they'll keep their first husband's last name. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Anyways... Okay, so I'll answer your questions about my relationship. So what happened? Well, a lot of it was my fault, to be completely honest. I'm starting my new podcast called Rock Bottom Love with Kia. You know, we got together a while ago, back in we met each other back in 2017, I think. And we were sort of dating a little bit, and it wasn't quite working, and we were really good friends, and you know, whatever. And then we were trying to date, and it wasn't quite working. We had gone to couples counseling early on, like in 2019, I think, before we were really seriously dating. But it was like we knew we really liked each other. So whatever, after that first round of couples therapy, he moved away to go back to his family in North Carolina. And then COVID happened, like a month later after he moved. And so then all of a sudden, we both needed a place to stay. Like, the world fell apart, as we all know. And essentially, we just really, really quickly decided, let's move in together and give this a shot, you know, even though things were kind of not super solid. And we moved in together, got a place, signed a year lease. And then we ended up living there for like 3 years together. Got engaged during that process very early on in the pandemic. But I think because of the quick nature of it all, it just was, once things started to calm down, the pace in which we were going just started to freak me out. And I was like, whoa. Within a year, basically I started from not really knowing and him moving to we're now engaged and I'm expected to be with this person forever. And they're an amazing person. I have nothing negative to say. He's a great guy. He helped me out a lot during that time, and we are a really good team, I think. But we hadn't talked about the big stuff. We didn't talk about really getting engaged yet. He asked me to, become engaged to him, which I thought was a little bit shocking. So much so, and it was in front of his whole family, which I thought was like, I would prefer it to be just us or a mix of family, friends, something, so I could feel like I had someone on my side entering into this thing. So during the proposal, it was just his family, his mom and dad and sister. And I felt this pressure, and I just, that didn't really go great in my mind. And so after things calmed down, basically, I started to and we didn't talk about children really in depth. I didn't get to look at the ring. There's lots of little things, the big thing being children. And I'm not against children. I'm just not sure. And I definitely was not ready for one 4 years ago. So all those things to say, we went back to couples counseling a second time. We went a third time, and he moved out to give us space to work on things, and it just sort of fell apart. But we tried really hard to make it work. And I think we have love for each other a lot. And, he found someone else. I don't want to put his business on blast, but he found someone else. I don't know if they've ever met in person. They met online, and she lives in a different country. So who's to say how well that will go? I hope it goes well if that's what he wants. But yeah, so when that happened, I decided, it's time to get out of the town. It's time to start my life over. And that's what I did. So now I live in a new city, and I'm trying to meet new people, do new things, expand my horizons. I'm 34 years old. I feel like some days I'm like, oh my God, I'm so behind in everything in life. And then some days I'm like, oh, I'm so young. I have so much time. And so that's kind of the story. And if you are interested, that is what happened. But I have nothing bad to say about it. And I do take, much like Ned, I take lots of responsibility for the demise of the relationship, because it was me who was apprehensive, unsure, questioning, pushing back, and honestly, I had been going through a lot of my own issues and therapy. I've been in therapy since 2020, twice a week for years, and now have recently downgraded it a little bit to less, but I had so much family stuff going on that I had not worked on. So that was also something. I was kind of in a low place when we were going through this super serious part of our relationship. And then when I was getting better, our relationship struggled. And I don't know what that means about us. I think there was maybe a little bit of a helper, damsel in distress dynamic that we had. And then once we were more equal, then we started to struggle, because I think, and again, this is getting personal, but I think he was more comfortable in a leadership role, helper role. And that's great. And I needed that, and I appreciated it at the time, but I want a partner. I want to be on the same level as somebody. Because I'm a modern lady in a modern world, a millennial, some might say. So that's that. But yeah, I got to say goodbye to his family, which was really hard, his parents. And that was sort of emotional for me, but I got to say goodbye to them. I got to say goodbye to him, before I left, which was nice and difficult, but I think everything ended on really good terms, and I'm happy and relieved for that. So we wish him well, as Dylan would say. We wish him well. Oh, sorry. Is the sound bad? My bad. Oh, maybe that's old. All right. Well, time to sing my song. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you and your support. And we're all in this together, right? We're all in this together, getting broken up with and then changing your life. We're all in. Everyone's like, no, it didn't happen to me. But that's okay. Okay, but thank you. And I'm having fun. I'm worried it's going to be cold in where I live now, so I'm a little nervous about that. But other than that, I'm very much enjoying this new city and just the vibe of it and everything. So, it's a very exciting time in my life. Okay, you're welcome. And maybe we can do another one of these someday, like a Ask Me Anything thing. I would prefer to do it with members just because it's a little less intimidating. So maybe I'll suggest that in the members area, if that's something you're interested in. I don't want to parasocially share everything, but the more personal questions I'm okay with answering. All right, time to sing my song. If you want to join the membership to get your name in the song, do it. And good night. And good night. Okay. Here we go. Starry nights, it is thundering behind my eyes, makes me cry. Nicole Campbell, a great episode. How many packs of pens do you have? I hope it's at least 3. Leaf Madison. Have you ever climbed a tree? Because I wonder. I wonder if you heard that thunder I brought up before. Mr. Info, are you like Mr. Robot, but a more, less technical version? You're like a piece of paper. Day 24. Knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? John Mayer. John Mayer who says you can't get stoned. My house alone. I'm gonna look up the lyrics to that song that I mentioned earlier. Paper dolls, did you know that he wrote that allegedly about Taylor Swift? Don't come for me, that's just what I heard. Hannah, banana, don't have an ice cream and split. You need to find your click, not your click. Sorry, that was gross. Alright, now from this part on, I'm gonna sing Paper Doll by John Mayer in this tune. Ready? Paper doll, come try it on. Step out of that black chiffon. Here's a dress of golden blue. Sure was fun being good to you. This one we made just for fall, and winter runs a bit too small. Well, that's done. Okay, the actual line was, you're like 22 girls in one, and none of them know what they're running from. Was it just too far to fall for a little paper doll? There you go. Now the mystery has been solved. Goodbye.